Okay, so the old theater, what else besides that?
And then Houghton Ford Garage. Then George Gross's ice cream shop, just right on the corner over here. Then Goodman and Mead feeding. Then we'll go down there was Ron German's shoe shop, Minnie Merrill's hat and clothing shop. She was a sister to my grandma. And then Dr. Wood's hospital, and Watson's grocery. Then on Liston's grocery store, and then Shepler's barber shop, and Bud Keeley International Implement, and Home Oil, and then Ray Wells John Deere Implement, and that pretty well. There was probably a few more, but
That's a pretty good memory.
Most of them.
Okay, what has changed the most during your time here in State Center?
Well, the worst was when I sat by my dad when he died at 58 years old. I was 35. But then my wife had a stroke, and she's been out here at the nursing home for a little over 4 years. That's kind of the sad things that's went on here in town.
But tell
And
everybody,
my mother passed away too, and
tell everybody how long you've been married to your wife, Ruth.
73 years.
That's great. What advice would you give to current and future generations of families in State Center?
Well, I would say like being a good friend to everybody and show your attitude towards them.
Very good. Who were your best friends, Ray?
Pardon?
Who were your best friends?
My oldest sister, Pearl, and her husband, Ben Stolzman. We traveled a lot. We went to Disney World, went to Bahamas, went to San Francisco, LA, Hawaii, 14 days in Hawaii, to the Bahamas. And then 20 years in a row, we went to Lake Okoboji fishing. I had a boat, and we stayed in number 7 cabin every year. We always went the 10th of September. And they're both gone. And a lot of good friends on my wife's side.
Okay. What are your best memories of grade school in State Center?
Well, I went to a country school for out in the country north of me from the farm, 3/4 of a mile. We had to, and my sister had to get up and help with chores. And then we helped pick corn by hand, 65 rods towards the school, and then walk to school. But every morning my dad had to follow me with a yardstick because I'd crawl off in the ditch and hide. I didn't want to go to school. Can you imagine? I was 4 years old the 3rd of July, and they started me in the 1st grade. I didn't like school. I went 6. The country school was 3/4 of a mile north of me. Went there 6 years, and then I went to St. John's Lutheran School for 2 years.
And you said you stopped your schooling at age 13?
13. My dad said it's time to go to work.
Okay.
And I learned the hard way. And there's one other thing. I was 16 years old, and you use horses. And they send me out the disc. And my dad and Grandpa were fanning oats for seed oats. And one horse in the middle, all of a sudden he laid down. So I gets off the disc and goes around and see what's happened. He jumped up, and as I started running, they started following me. I had 4 horses run away with me on the disc. I got around behind the disc in a hurry. And I drove up by the fence, and Dad come down. He said, "What's the matter?" Well, I said, "That one horse must be sick. They run away with me. Get them turned around and go back out and straighten where all the mess was." That was kind of could have been bad.
Yes, yes. The last question is about the businesses, which you already touched on. So I think we're good. Thank you, Ray.
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot went in town, and I have that book of the town estate center that shows all the old businesses on Main Street. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you've probably got one in here. I looked through it here the other night.
Okay.
But I can say George Gross had the best ice cream you could ever have.
Very good. All right.